how do you create a ton of content ideas for something basic and simple for like even a light bulb e-commerce store? I was going through my comments and I came across Nick on YouTube, and he's issued me a bit of a challenge saying, how do you find daily topics to talk about to people who have only ever bought one light bulb from an e-commerce store? Because that's the case with one customer of mine right now, and he doesn't really know much about them, plus he doesn't sell anything else. There is of course a unique selling point about these products. They're full spectrum lamps, which means they're good for your well-being, see better concentration. You actually mentioned in your video seasonal depression. What would you do? So in this video, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna open up Quip, and I'm gonna teach you a framework for coming up with a load of content ideas, either for yourself or for your customers, because this is quite a common problem, is customers don't understand or really think, well, how can I think of all these different content ideas? And they think, well, no one's gonna wanna read that many emails. And although I'm probably not gonna be able to come up with 365 topics, I am gonna teach a bit of a framework, and we're gonna just do this in real time. So I'm gonna open up Quip right now. I'm also going to share with you like 2 places where I get a load of content ideas from, and I've basically just essentially paid someone else to come up with a load of content ideas. That's not true. I'm going to share 3 places where you can just get a ton of keywords and content ideas. This might work for blog posts or whatever. I'm going to specifically focus in this instance on daily content for this particular product. So we know the product is a light bulb. We know the benefits. Good for your well-being, seeing better, better concentration. And they also help with seasonal depression. Now, at first glance, it might think, well, what in the hell are you going to talk about? And this is off the back of a YouTube video that I did last week, and I'll link to that video, talking about how you should be sending regular emails. It was all about email marketing strategy and how you should send regular daily emails, and I believe it's helped my business immeasurably. But if you're selling a single product, it can be a bit overwhelming to think, well, what on earth am I going to talk about? So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down, and I have a really quick process that I use called the 10 by 10 formula. And this will basically give you 100 content ideas, and we're just going to use some of the examples. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the concept of the light bulb, and we're going to look at some of the benefits, like good for your well-being, seeing better, better concentration, or seasonal depression. We're also going to look at things that are like broader, like cost or pricing. We're going to look at influencers or celebrities. And remember, we're going to try and frame it from the perspective of the buyer rather than the supplier. A lot of businesses think that their email marketing needs to be talking about themselves, and that's actually not true. So what I'm going to do is list out 10 pretty broad subject areas that we could talk about for this email campaign. So I've got here 6 content ideas. Again, these are pretty broad, and all I've done is I've taken the product, I've taken a few of the benefits, and I've thought, well, what would the broadest subjects be? One of the advantages of sending a daily email is that it reduces your spam count. Amazingly, it actually reduces the number of people who unsubscribe. It reduces the number of spam filters you're caught in. It increases your open rate. It increases your click rate. You might think, and I'm going to talk to you as if you're the perspective of the light bulb seller, because this is true if you're a funnel builder, this is true if you're a video game designer, this is true if you're a coffee manufacturer or whatever. You might think, oh, I just build light bulbs, but that's not true. You're building something and shipping something which helps people concentrate better, live a better life. They could be genuinely miserable, and you're providing them with a solution. Don't ever underplay the value that your product brings, because frankly, it's got nothing to do with you. The value that your product brings has got nothing to do with you, and it's everything to do with the customer. The customer decides how valuable you are. There's a few kind of little dumb things in this room, like this foam padding here that helps with like reverberation and stuff when I'm recording. A company might just think, yeah, we just manufacture foam, but you don't. You make my YouTube videos sound better, you make my podcast sound better, you make it a more comfortable environment for me to record in. I think you make a more of an interesting background. There's so many hidden benefits to all products. So what we're doing is we're just creating 10 10 pretty broad categories about things that your customers might not know or might want to know, and we're framing it from the perspective of their life. There's no reason that your emails from a simple light bulb company or light bulb e-commerce store couldn't be the key to their productivity and motivation, and also be their favorite thing to open. The home edit.
I'm Joanna.
And I'm Clea. We own a company called The Home Edit.
We have teams all over the country.
Wait, we have to say we're home organizers.
Oh, God.
See, this is why I like to practice.
I know.
For those who don't know, is an Instagram account and a company. You know, they run a company. They've even got a Netflix show, which is basically just about tidying up. And they have 3.9 million followers, essentially just talking about color coding, organization. But it's not just that, is it? It's about making people's lives better, more effective, more efficient, making their home a more pleasurable place to be in. And if you can change someone's office from a place where they go where they feel they have to get work done to with a couple of specialist light bulbs, just selling one light bulb, you make it where actually I want to get to work. I've done it. I've got tons of lights in this room because I reckon I've never been diagnosed with it, but I reckon that the winter definitely plays a role. So I want to have as much light and warmth in my room as possible because this is where I get my work done. So don't ever underplay the value that you bring. So that's the first thing I would do. As you can see, I've come up with here 6 topics, and just talking this through, I'm going to come up with another 4. So we've got 10 broad topics. So as you can see, I've now got our 10 topics. I've got buying a light bulb, where to place a light in your house, measuring your well-being, do you need specialist lighting, how to concentrate better, seasonal depression, pricing and costs, how-to guides, comparison and reviews, and frequent questions. Now, one of the points that Nick brought up was that his customer, the light bulb e-commerce store, doesn't actually know a huge amount about his customers. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put at the top, number 1, what we call feedback. If the problem is I don't know enough about my customers, the solution is ask more questions. So a very powerful type of email that you can send, and I probably send it once every couple of weeks maybe. I just pepper it in amongst our daily emails saying, what are you working on right now? What's the number 1 thing that you want to fix? If I could help you achieve anything in 90 days, what would it be? A ton of different examples of questions that I want to understand their problems. I want to understand their lifestyle. I want to understand what they're working on. I want to understand what they're excited about, what they're worried about. I want to understand everything I can about them as customers. This point here I've put 1.E basically says, what would you love if we started selling? One of the points that Nick brought up in his comment was that his customer doesn't sell any other products. I would argue that you do need to have a product ecosystem, and it's probably pretty easy to start broadening that out. A lot of people might go down the route of adding more lighting sources. I would personally take the benefits that you've got here, such as good for your well-being, seeing better, better concentration or seasonal depression, and start thinking, what products can we provide that we could probably white label and outsource and even drop ship that help people with things like that. Brain FM would be an amazing affiliate product to just sell to people and talk about, because it essentially helps with better concentration. I think it's good for your well-being. There's meditation apps, there's food plans that help people in the morning, with concentration. There's certainly stuff to do with seasonal depression. So rather than thinking, oh, I need to continue selling lights, personally, I would think I need to start selling more products to do with better concentration and having a better life, and just broadening that out. And if you can bring that to your customers, if you can share that kind of advice with them, they'll start to kind of expand and think, wow, what else can we start to sell to our customers at relatively low cost and easy to provide. So you can see here, one of the broad things I've got here is buying a light bulb, right? And this might sound insane, but this is a really good example of proving that you're the expert. Buying a light bulb, we're going to think of 10 topics. You're not going to send them one after the other. You're going to spread them out. But if you're able to explain the difference between buying an LED light bulb, a fluorescent light bulb, an old school, I don't know what they're called, filament light bulb. They've now got those really trendy, old school filament light bulbs, like the huge ones that everyone has in hipster cafes and stuff, which cost hundreds of pounds and stuff. Is it better to get designer lighting? Do you have shades? There's so much information in your head that you should be getting out on paper. And yeah, it's a bit of a grind putting it out. But if we have buying a light bulb here, I'm gonna put LED lights, I'm gonna put strip lights, office lighting, home office lighting, home lighting, kitchen lighting. And I know that this guy here only sells one particular type of light bulb, specifically around concentrating and well-being. That's not the point. I only help people sell marketing funnels. Realistically, that's what I want to help people do. But I produce a ton of content in other areas because I know that it's going to increase my authority. That's why we talk about vision and niche and pricing, because so many of these things play a role within that process. And if you're able to say, hey, I've got an entire guide here of how you should fix your kitchen lighting, and if you can put that knowledge into these emails, they don't have to be very long. You could even record them and get them transcribed. There's a huge amount of value there, and people will begin to trust you and see you as the authority. So here I've basically thrown in 10 really quick ideas for buying a light bulb. LED, strip, office, home lighting, kitchen lighting, all this kind of stuff. And again, if we're thinking from the aspect of good for your well-being and to see better concentration, seasonal depression, all of this plays a role, and you should be talking about this. We're going to do one more, and hopefully you'll begin to see just how simple this process is. And if you repeat this 3 times with 10 other different subjects, or even just 10 other different takes on this subject, you could do really, really well. This other side here, I'm going to look at seasonal depression. Here's what we're going to look at: celebrities with seasonal depression. I think it's called seasonal affective disorder. Is that the right thing? SAD, which is coincidental. Other tools to combat SAD. So I've thrown a few more ideas in here for seasonal affective disorder. Are you depressed and don't know? How lighting affects your overall mood and how lighting affects depression. Other tools to combat SAD, noticing the signs of SAD. I've also got this one here. We've got pricing and cost. This is one of my favorite ones. How much to replace a light bulb. A good one is like a comparison pricing. So you could look at a holiday compared to a new home compared to just changing your lights, and seeing how the pricing of each one of them affects the cost of dealing with concentration or depression. There's a lot that you as a light bulb manufacturer can bring and deliver to your customers through your email marketing. And hopefully you've seen here, if you do this, it's 100, that's at least 2 emails a week, right? That's at least 2 emails a week that we can create right now. It takes about an hour to do this exercise. I call it the 10 by 10. If you are looking for someone else to basically do your keywords or your content ideas for you, or at least help you with it, I've got a few suggestions here. First of all, like last week I mentioned, I've got my friend Cam. He has like 365 emails, but it's way more than that because he's divided it up. So he's got like 365 for B2B businesses, 365 for e-commerce businesses, and it's called his email conversion kit. That's on the screen right now, and I'll put a link to that down below. I've also got an affiliate link to Martin and Lindsay's content planning toolkit. Martin and Lindsay are friends of mine, and it's always like, oh, promote my product because you're my mate. I actually bought it before Martin said, oh, would you like to be an affiliate? And I was like, yeah, this is killer. Like, to me personally, this is one of the best content planners for blogs, podcasts, YouTubes, and there's no reason why you can't take that same product or that same content and turn it into an email as well. There's no reason why you can't do that. Huge fan of this. Again, just $27. Full disclosure, that is an affiliate link. And finally, there's a company that I've started using recently called Human Proof Designs, and they have these things called keyword packs. Now, you do have to have your niche, but if you send in some pretty basic information for them for like $99, they'll come back with a ton of keyword ideas. Now, admittedly, keyword ideas might not be the best for emails, but it is a really good place to start with generating some content ideas. They have the KGR, which is like the keyword golden ratio keyword pack, which I have found extremely useful. I bought it a couple of times from them, and they've been very good with the back and forth, and it gave me a ton of content ideas for like blog posts and YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff like this. But we also test some of that stuff going out to our emails. So guys, I hope that's been useful. I hope even if you aren't Nick and his particular customer, you've learned how to create a ton of different content ideas, particularly for daily emails. Here's the one thing though that I would really implore you do is not just worry about trying to sell one product, because if you have to sell one product to 1,000 people, that's going to be very difficult to get repeat purchases. I would seriously look at trying to source some other products that aren't in lighting, but that are in well-being, seeing better, better concentration. Nomatic is probably a good example of this. They created a book at first, and they realized that that book wasn't where they wanted to go. They didn't want to make more books. They looked at what does the book help people do. It's help them plan their travel, help them plan their journeys, you know, be a bit more freestyle, a bit more nomadic. So they came up with a bag, and they came up with a few bags, and I think they've got like a scooter or something now, so and a travel kit. There's a ton of stuff that they've done that focuses on the broad results that the customer wants, not the actual delivery that the manufacturer wants to make. So that would be my other final piece there. If you have created a ton of emails for your customers, let me know below. If this was useful, let me know in the comments. That really helps me out. And give it a like as well. If you're a funnel builder that builds funnels for other customers and you want to learn how to sell marketing funnels for at least $25,000, go ahead and hit subscribe and be notified when I release new videos, because I produce videos like this every single week. In the meantime, next to me right now is, if you want to learn more about how to write an email marketing strategy and the email marketing strategy that I use in my business to send daily emails, regular emails to my customers, automations, create campaigns, and everything to do with email that you could just steal for free, go ahead and check that out. I think it's like 15 minutes long, and it will teach you everything on creating an email marketing campaign. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Have courage, commit, and take action.